Bless you. All right, guys, our objective today is to continue simplifying radicals. I am going to throw some exponent problems in here every so often today. Tomorrow in class, second part or at some point during class, you're going to have a graded assignment on simplifying radicals and exponents. You could consider it a small quiz. That's the last quiz / graded assignment that you'll have in class. Wednesday, we're going to start your final review. Okay? Final exam, Jake, you shouldn't be talking this much. We're starting the week of the 29th. So when we come back from Memorial Day weekend, you guys are going to start your final. Okay? It's going to take us, I'd say, 4 days, maybe 5 days to take. And I will grade it as you're taking it so you can see how you're doing as we're going. Sage? I'll probably say, like, do this section today. Do this section tomorrow, because I think that'll be easier. Yeah. All right, so let's go over the warm-up. Number one, Travis, -3 to the 0 power is what? Good. This becomes 1. Jackie, what do we do to the second part here? Good. So on the second part, distribute the 2 to every single term. So we have 2 squared, x to the -2nd, y to the -2nd. John, next step. Good. We're going to move the negatives to the bottom, so we're going to move these down. So we end up with 2 squared over x squared, y squared. That's the answer, and of course, leaving it in exponential form. Raise your hand if you got that right. Oh, good. Okay, you guys are doing better. Okay, number 2. This one we just spent Friday on, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. What should we break 50 down into? Well, good. So we have 3. I'm going to leave the 3 in front. We are changing 50 to 25 and 2. What can we change x cubed to? Jackie? Good. X squared and x, and I'm going to leave y squared inside the radical. So is everyone clear and okay on how to split that up? Okay, Zach, what can we circle because it's perfect? And? Good. So 25, x squared and y squared are all perfect squares. Remember from Friday, when you take the square root of something and get a nice number, that's considered a perfect square. What's going to happen with this random 3 that's sitting in front? What are we going to do with that? Jake? And then eventually, what are we going to do with it, though? Good. It'll end up being multiplied. So we have 3 times square root of 25 is 5. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of y squared is y. All this stuff, or these 2 things, I should say, that are inside the radical, leave them there. So the 2x that's left inside, leave them there. We're going to multiply 3 times 5, which is 15. So our answer is 15xy and then square root of 2x. That is completely simplified. Raise your hand if you got that one right. Yay, good job. Okay, more than I thought. Any questions on either of those before we go over homework? Okay, page 2 in your packet. Let's go through these answers. And then we're going to do some more practice together, and then I want you to try some on your own. Okay, so number 1, John. Good, 10. Mamta, number 2. Good, 5 square root of 3. Helene, number 3. Good, -12a. Number 4, Heather. 8x can be changed to square root of 4, square root of 2. You're not done. Remember, if you're left inside the radical with something that could be a perfect square, keep going. Amanda, do you have number 4? Good. 8x, square root of 2x. Make sure 1 through 4 are checked. And I'll definitely come back to questions. Melissa, number 5. You said 20 square root of 10? Is that what you said? What'd you say? Okay, you forgot to take the square root of it, I think. Haley L., what'd you get for 5? Okay, Sage, number 5. 20 what? Okay, you guys are like all half right. Jackie? Good, I'll come back and go over that one. That should be 20 times the square root of 10. If you don't have that, it's wrong. It has to be exactly like that. Matthew, number 6. Good. A to the fourth square root of 15b. Sam, number 6. Oh, man. I wrote that in the wrong spot. Sam, number 7. Good. 4cd. Matt, number 8. Good job. Make sure 5 through 8 are checked. If you're getting these wrong, you need to make sure you're asking me once we go through them all. Okay, Alan, number 9. Good job. Katron, number 10. You said 10A? Nope, but you're close. Jake? Good, 2A. Very good. Let's see here. Amy, 11? No? Helene, you want to try 11? Good job. 4cd squared, square root of 6bd. Will, number 12. Good job. 13, Reno. Just 3a square root of 3. When you take the square root of a squared, you get a. So be careful on that. Garrett, 14. Okay. Alan, do 14. Good job. 15, Dirk. Good job. 16, Travis, did you get 16? Okay, that one's a tough one. Anyone think they have it, Jackie? Good job. All right, does anyone even need to go back so you can check any other answers? Okay, questions. So which ones do you need me to go over? Travis, 16? Okay, let me move this up. Okay, 16. So the easiest way to do this one is to find the largest perfect square that goes into 320. I used 64 and 5. So I changed 320 to be 64 times 5. Leave that negative in front. That negative in front just means it gets put on the answer. So leave that there. Y to the 9th, you can change to y to the 8th and y. And then z to the 10th, just leave alone. So I think the hardest part of this was finding either a perfect square or the largest perfect square that goes into 320. Travis, you okay with that? And then circle what's perfect. There are 3 things that we can circle. Square root of 64 is 8, so this becomes negative 8. Square root of y to the 8th is y to the 4th. Square root of z to the 10th is z to the 5th. And leave square root of 5y in there. And that's how you get to your answer. Anyone else? Sure? No questions on anything else on 1 through 16. You guys are going to see these tomorrow. It's going to be your last small quiz in class. Okay, this is something I did not do with you guys. I want to list the perfect squares with you after you guys on Friday. I ended up doing that with all my other classes. If you do not know what a perfect square is and you need to write these down, either in a notebook or on a blank piece of paper, leave that packet out though, because we're going to come back to that. So again, if you do not know what a perfect square is and you have a blank sheet of paper or a notebook, we're going to list the first 20. If you feel like you're okay with these and you know what these are, don't worry about it, okay? It could be on any paper. Sorry, they still haven't given me a loose leaf. So a perfect square is when you take the square root of something, you get a nice number. You get a nice answer. So square root of 1 is 1. What's the next perfect square that we learned earlier this year in the fall? So what's the next one? John? Good. Square root of 4, which is 2. Will, what's the next one? Good. Square root of 9, which is 3. Dirk, what's the next one? Okay, 4 times 4 is? Close. So square root of 16 is 4. Jake, what's the next one? Square root of 25, which is 5. Sage, what's the next one? Good. Square root of 36, which is 6. Travis, what's the next one? So 7 times 7? Good. Square root of 49, which is 7. Sam, what's the next one? Good. Square root of 64, which is 8. Next one, Matt. 9 times 9. Good. 81, which is 9. Let's see. Mamta, what's the next one? Good. Square root of 100, which is 10. Matthew, what's the next one? Good. Square root of 121, which is 11. Heather, next one. Good. Square root of 144, which is 12. All right, I'll let you guys raise your hand for these next couple. What's the next one? Rena? Good, which is what? Good. Next one. A couple more. Zach? Good. Square root of 196, which is 14. Next one. 225. Good. Square root of 225, which is 15. Jake, next one. Good. Square root of 256, which is 16. Who knows the next one? Zach. Good. Square root of 289, which is 17. 3 more. Who knows what 18 is? Good. Square root of 324, which is 18. Yep. Square root of 361, which is 19. And square root of 400, which is 20. So here's what I suggest. If you are having a hard time with simplifying radicals, I want you to take a look at this list. If you start with 4 and divide a number by 4 and say, all right, does 4 go into this number? Well, 4 is a perfect square. If it does, that's a good place to start. If 4 doesn't work, go to 9, go to 16, go to 25. When I have a large number, that's what I do. I just start dividing it by things if I don't know what goes into it. So find your perfect squares. If you don't know them, look at your list, memorize them if you need to. This will really help you in these types of problems. Okay? All right, let's go back to the homework packet, and I want you guys to go to page 3. I want to do some of these with you. Okay, so homework packet, page 3. These are a little bit different, so if you need to leave your perfect squares out, you can. But I'd like to do page 3 with you guys. And then I'm going to give you some time to start on your homework. Okay, so this is page 3 in that packet I gave you on Friday. Okay, number 1, square root of x to the 16th. This should be really easy. How do you do this? Melissa? By what? Good, so what do you get? X to the 8, good. All you're doing is taking 16, you are dividing it by 2 because it's an even number. So all you do for number 1, divide it by 2, you get x to the 8th. Okay, John, what do we do for number 2? How do we take the square root of x to the 8th? Nope, don't need to do that. Because what kind of exponent is it? Even or odd? Okay, so what can you do? If it's an even exponent, divide it by 2. So you get x to the 4th. If you have an even exponent, guys, do not split it up. All you're doing is dividing it by 2. Okay, number 3 is different. Does anyone remember how to do 4 square root of 3x times 4 square root of 4x? We've done these before, but it's just been a while. Does anyone remember what the first thing is that we need to do? Will? Nope. Nope. Because 4 is already a perfect square, so you wouldn't do that anyways. But that's not the first thing we do. Okay, here's what you need to do. If you have numbers in front, we need to multiply them together. So 4 times 4 is 16. And then when you're multiplying a radical together, multiply what is inside and leave it so it's all in one radical. So what is 3x times 4x? 12x squared. So 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared. So the first thing you do if they're split up is multiply them together so that it's easier for you to simplify the radical. Is everyone okay on that part? Okay, now what? What should we split 12x squared up into? So now we need to split it up. Well, That's not a perfect square. So what is a perfect square? Go ahead, that goes into 12. So let's do 4, 3, and leave x squared alone. Remember, that's okay, well, it's Monday. X squared is already a perfect square, so don't touch that one. Leave that one alone. Yes, we're changing 12 back to 4 times 3, but you need to multiply that stuff together because there's going to be a lot of variables sometimes. Is everyone okay with what we're doing? Okay, circle what's perfect. We have 4 and we have x squared. The square root of 4 is 2, so we're going to change this to be 16 times 2. Square root of x squared, Garrett, is what? X. And then leave square root of 3 inside the radical. What is our final answer? Zach? 32x, and then leave your square root of 3 there. Good job. So 32x times the square root of 3. This is the only different type of problem is when they split them up and you have to multiply them first, but the process is exactly the same. Questions on that one? Okay, let's do number 4 together. If you'd like to go ahead of me, go ahead. Okay, but number 4 is very similar. Make sure if you're going ahead of me that you're checking once you're done. Okay, so number 4, the very first thing you need to do is multiply what's in front, multiply what's in the radical. 5 times 2 is 10, and then 4a times 6a is 24a squared. So multiply what's in the front, and then multiply what's in the radical. Now we're going to split this one up. Haley L., what can we change 24 to? Yep. So we're going to change 24 to 6 and 4. Do we need to split a squared up into anything? No, because it's an even number exponent. So just leave that like it is. From there, circle what's perfect. The 4 and the a squared are perfect. So circle what's perfect. And then take the square root. So we have 10 times 2 times a, because the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of a squared is a. Leave square root of 6 inside the radical. So you guys should get 20a square root of 6. Okay, I want you guys to try 5 through 9. Okay, the ones that are dividing, split them up into 2 different radicals and simplify. Just 5 through 9. Remember, if they're split up, multiply them first, and then find a perfect square that goes into them. This one, leave as a fraction, remember, because you're dividing. It's like square root of 9 over square root of 64. Square root of x squared over square root of 25. There, this one, leave as a fraction. Square root of x squared over square root of 25. Don't change it to multiplication, it's division. Yeah, but you have your answer as 25 times x. It should be x over 25. Because this is square root of x over square root of 25. Don't change this to multiplication. It's a division problem. It should be square root of x squared over square root of 25. You change it to multiplication, but it's division. Same thing with this one. Don't change this to multiplication. It's a division problem. Square root of x squared over square root of 25 is what it should be. Don't change division to multiplication. That's not right. You need to fix these two. Don't change these to multiplication. They're division problems. Okay, guys, here's what I'm seeing with like a handful of you. Numbers 5 and 6 are division problems. So when you split this up, it should be square root of x squared over square root of 25. Split them up as a fraction. Do not multiply them. Okay? So your answer, because these are both perfect squares for number 5, is just x over 5. So those of you guys that did that by multiplying, do you know what I mean? Keep it like this. Take your fraction, separate the numerator and the denominator, just like we did Friday. Same thing with 6. You're going to separate it to be square root of 9 over square root of 64. And then take the square root of each of them because they're both perfect squares in this case. So 3 over 8. Please ask if something does not make sense. Okay, number 7. Let's see. Amanda, what did you get for your answer for number 7? Good job. Number 7 should be broken down into 4 times 3, x to the 6th, and x. The 4 and the x to the 6th are perfect squares. Take the square root of them, and then the 3x stays inside the radical. Okay, number 8, John, what'd you get? Okay, so when you multiply them, yes, a squared bc, but you got to keep going. Okay, and then what? Good job. So a and then square root of bc is the answer. You guys are, I know you guys don't like Mondays. Questions on 7 or 8? Travis, you look confused. You okay? Okay, just making sure. Sage, you okay? Yeah, Sage, number 9. Yeah, but you forgot about the exponents. Okay, and? No. You're close, though. All right, ready? Square root of 36, square root of x to the 4th, square root of x. Okay, I thought you said 2. Okay. Sage, you did a good job. Don't listen to them. All right. Any questions? Well, they're probably not going to last very long. Any questions? We're trying it out. If it doesn't last, then we're just... Well, we're not. It's not over yet. All right, you guys okay with that? Okay, don't... What's wrong, Travis? Okay. Don't lose that packet. We're going to come back to that tomorrow. Okay, here's what I want you to put your name on. At the top of this, it says it's a quiz. Ignore that. I was going to use this in the fall when we were going over the gold packet stuff, but I ended up not giving you guys a quiz on that. So ignore that it says quiz at the top. Okay, we have about 10 minutes. So here's what I want you guys to do. If you get stuck on something, I want you to come up and see me. If and when you finish this in class, coming up to the podium, I want you guys to come get checked. So it's a radical worksheet, but it really says quiz on it, but ignore that. I only want you to complete numbers 1 through 12. If you can do numbers 1 through 12, you will be fine on the small quiz that we're going to have tomorrow with radicals. Okay, so just 1 through 12. If you get stuck, come on up and see me or put your hand up. If you finish, I want you to come up so I can check it. Okay, so just 1 through 12. I think that this will end up being homework if you don't finish in class.